Hi, we're here at John Ossadjic Park today for the Valemount Give Youth a Voice barbecue. And one of the youth in Valemount that's been making his voice heard in the track and field world is Omar Medina. He's with me here today. Omar, hi.
Hey, Gordon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. So, Omar, just to get people a sense of who you are and where you are, can you tell us how old you are and what grade you're in?
I'm 15 and I'm in grade 9.
And how long have you been competing in track and field?
It was just last year that I started officially competing.
Wow.
Yeah, I started getting the notice to tally in grade 7, but then started getting into it in high school.
Okay. And so what events are you currently competing in?
Right now I compete in the long jump, the 200-meter sprint, and the 100-meter sprint.
Where are you doing most of your training now?
Now that I've realized that I have potential, as my coaches have said, I've had to move over to Prince George to train because of the facilities and because of the equipment they have, the weight training they can provide, and all those resources that I...
So who is your coach? Who are you training with?
I have 2 sets of coach, one for my sprinting and one for my long jumping. My long jumping coach's name is Stephanie Gwynn, and my sprinter's one is Christopher Gaiski.
So with all the travel and the training that you're doing, it must be pretty hard to keep up with your schoolwork. What are you doing for school now, and are you managing to keep up?
Oh yeah, for sure. My teachers are great with giving me work that's adaptable to my training, and with the grades I have, they allowed me to continue on to see, guinea pig me with this situation. But I think that my grades are pretty good right now.
Well, that's good.
Good for what I'm doing. So.
Okay, good. And so what's going to be next for you? What is your next event or next meet that you're doing?
My next one will be on May 17th or 18th, and that will be in Kamloops. It's called the Centennial meet in Kamloops, yeah. Okay,
and you're doing all 3 events there?
And I will be competing in all 3 events, yes.
Let's go a little bit about your background and talk a little bit about your background, because I know that you've only been doing it for a short period of time, but in that time you've managed to win lots of medals, and you've lots of recognition for yourself. I know last year at the BC Summer Games you won gold. Was it all 3 events, the long jump and 100 and 200?
It was just the long jump. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the other 2 I was disqualified for false starts and for...
Okay. And what about your training in terms of your personal best? How are you doing compared to a year ago?
Compared to a year ago? Well, a year ago I was not weight training as intensely as I am this year, and that has definitely been a big impact on performance and whatnot. So this year, the percentages that I've gone up with considering weight-wise would be, it's just, my coaches are pretty surprised by that, and it was just this past meet actually, my first track meet of the season that I bested all of my personal bests in all my events, and with shin splints. So I'm pretty excited for the next one to come.
So do you currently hold any records in any of these events?
No, but because of shin splints, but I'm aiming to get the zone record at this coming meets zones this year.
So that's I guess my next question is what are your athletic goals for this coming year and for the future?
That's the hardest question for any athlete, I would guess. This year I'm aiming to be able to compete at the Legion Junior Canadian Nationals, which is basically the best in Canada compete in their event of track and field, and it's sponsored by the Legion. And this year's going to be in Langley, luckily. Last year was in Prince Edward Island, so that would have been
a lot closer, yeah.
Yeah, way closer, yeah, for sure. And yeah, that would be going there and doing my best there would be what my goal this year is.
Okay, and what about for the future? What do you see yourself doing? You want to pursue athletics as a long-term goal?
As a long-term goal, that's Athletics, yeah, for sure. During the prime of my life, I'd really like to be involved in sports. At the same time, of course, taking up a technique or a profession that could, very well help me later on in life. But I think that for the prime of my life, I have, based on my surroundings, that I have the potential to pursue athletics.
So you're currently doing 3 events now. Is that sort of where you're going to focus, or are you looking at anything new?
The more I grow older into the sport, the more experience I get, and the more qualities I see that I need to have in order to compete in the types of events that I do or that I want to. I think that the long jump would probably take me the farthest, as far as, yeah, it definitely would be the long jump.
Right. So it's kind of unusual for someone from a small town like Valemount to be getting national recognition and to get the kind of attention that you're getting for your athletic achievements. Do you get enough support here locally? I mean, are people supportive of what you're doing, and are they, being helpful for what you need?
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel that the whole village has been supportive in what I do. And it really feels nice to have that kind of support, especially from a small place like this. But however, the older I get, the bigger the meets are, the more important they are, both to my school and to my my own life too, if I want to pursue these types of things. So the more I have to, the more I need to, for each year, for bigger and bigger competitions.
Right. So basically, it's more expensive to be able to travel to these meets. You need the funding to be able to do it and to be able to stay and support yourself. And
on average, each meet will be around $800 in hotels and transportation and entrance fees.
And how many meets would you do in a year?
I would probably, this year, I'm probably going to do eight meets.
Right.
I think.
So that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So it's difficult. Must be difficult for your parents, because I'm sure that you don't have time probably to work at this point with all your training. So they're having to foot the bill. And I mean, there are athletic grants and things out there, but they're difficult to get until you get into a higher level.
Yeah, for sure.
You just had a meet recently in Prince George?
In Prince George, yeah, the Sub-Zero meet, which is basically a meet to get everyone warmed up and into the competitive mood again.
How'd you do there?
I won all 3 of my events.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. So for your size, you're not a big guy, right? For your age and for your size, I mean, you're competing against people that are taller, bigger, stronger.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you attribute to the fact that you're so fast for your size, for example?
Oh, geez, that's a hard one. I think that the training that I've been, I've just pushed myself at every practice, every single time since I've been young. I've been doing the ab workouts, lifting a little bit of weights, because my dad doesn't let me lift heavy weights. But now that I'm getting older, I'm getting more. I'm learning more about the athletic and weights and.
Right. What's your diet like? Are you have a specialized diet, or you pretty much eat anything you want like a typical teenager?
I don't eat anything actually, which is
anything at all?
No. As in I'm pretty fussy when it comes to for example, a steak. If there's a fatty part, I'd rather leave that. Right. Stuff like that. I don't eat too much pop, too much chips, too much.
But you're not on a specialized high protein, super carb loading diet.
I'm probably the only athlete that doesn't take supplements or anything like that. Right. Out of the higher track. So this is natural, I guess. This is just genetics. Right. And I'm taking my natural talent and taking it to new levels.
So what's been your best experience so far athletically?
Athletically, it was definitely the BC Summer Games.
Right.
It was the whole introduction. There were so many people there, and to know that you've won a gold medal and that you've bested every single person there, with over 50 participants in just one event, that was just wow. and then surrounded by people that I love were there. And,
Right.
yeah.
So are you planning to attend this year?
The
BC Summer Games?
The BC Summer Games are only held 2 years.
Oh, every 2 years.
Every 2 years, and it's only for 14, 15-year-olds.
Ah.
Unfortunately, I was a 14-year-old
So
competing
you're
against a
going to be
15-year-old.
16 by the time the next one comes
Yeah.
in? Okay.
So that's yeah, that kind of sucks. But there's definitely bigger meets coming up for me. There's lots in store.
Ultimately, for an athlete in Canada, the progression is what you're doing now to perhaps Legion and maybe Pan American Games, bigger games, and then eventually to the Olympics. Do you see yourself taking those steps to try to get there eventually?
I definitely want to take those steps, yes. And that's my goal, to definitely someday make it to the Olympics. The day I step onto an Olympic stadium competing against, the best in the world and stuff, that would be, that's already my dream come true.
So you've been thinking about it. So what year can we look for Omar Medina in the Olympics? What year will it be?
Oh, geez. I'm not too sure about the 2016 ones coming up. There's so many steps that you need to take, and it's like that'd be something that, like, if I make it there, that's like, wow. At 18, you're already over there.
Okay, but definitely 2020. Definitely 2020.
Definitely 2020. I want to be there at 2020. Yeah, for sure.
And what do you see as your ultimate goal? Is it achieving a gold medal in the long jump?
A gold medal
In the Olympics in the long jump?
in the Olympics, that's a long jump, but with something a little different. Something, something that people, something that they'll remember, I think. It's big words for, coming from right now, but
You mean in terms of distance?
Yeah, like in distance from here till that moment, if it ever came. I think that I just want to, be remembered, I think. Yeah.
Last question. Are you having fun?
I'm having so much fun doing this.
Great. Anything you want to add?
I've met so many people. Oh geez. This is probably the best experience in the high school. I could have asked for in my high school time, for sure. And what there is to come too, for sure.
Well, we're looking forward to great things, and we'll keep watching your career.
All right, thank you very much. It means a lot.
So we've been talking with Omar Medina, and let's wish him well in the hopefully 2016 Olympics, but if not, the 2020 Olympics. Thanks very much.